to the Downtown Kentucky podcast and a new year, baby. We didn't die. Yes.
We didn't stop streaming.
We came back. We took a 2-week break, and we came back. I was gonna make some joke about how we thought about quitting, but I really never did. I'm back.
Sorry to any of our viewers who don't have object permanence yet. But we are in fact still here.
We're still alive, baby.
Still doing it.
We made it through.
The plan is to keep doing it
forever.
In the foreseeable future.
12 more years. 12 more years. Just 12 years, though. Even if we get really successful in 12 years, we're done.
Yeah.
Exactly the 12-year mark.
Yeah, 12 years from...
Yeah, from today.
January 3rd.
January 3rd,
guys.
30...
Mark your calendars.
Yeah, January 3rd, 2034. 2034. We're done. Goodbye. Get lost. No one wants us then. We'll be old men. No one would want us there anyway.
We don't make the rules.
We don't. Well, we did. We literally just said we were doing that. It was literally our idea.
We do make the rules.
We make the rules.
Yeah.
Well,
so what do we got on the roster today?
Well, today, our first
New Year, new segment?
New Year. Whoa, settle down. We have a segment before the title segment. We gotta keep him waiting. We gotta keep him salivating. So we gotta start with that general, fun, chit-chatty part of this podcast. Chris, how was your Christmas? I mean, we've talked since Christmas, but they don't know we've talked since Christmas.
Well, okay. Christmas was pretty good. Can't complain. Had family here, and it's nice, small, and intimate, which is the way I like most things. Because I'm not a huge people person.
I respect that.
It's crazy, I know. I am very much an introvert.
Respect. I hate
kind of just hung out with family. It was pretty chill. Got some cool stuff. Got to see my family, open my gifts, and it seems like everyone liked their gifts, so that was nice.
That's good.
Yeah, the older I've gotten, the more I've found that I also just really enjoy giving gifts and seeing people.
Is that your love language? You take the love language test?
I think giving gifts might be a part of it. Although it's quality time is definitely
it's fair.
My primary love language.
I know that physical touch is not my favorite. I don't like hugs.
Oh. Physical touch I am good with, like, if that is the person that I am.
That's fair.
Like close to.
Yeah. This is a weird discussion.
Yeah, so my Christmas was good, and also my love language is quality time and physical touch.
All right, cool. I had a Christmas too. It was all right.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I guess I went a little bit more in depth than I should have.
Yeah, it was funny though. Yeah, I think it was good content. I think that's what people want.
I want to know all about my love language.
I don't even know what I got some DVDs, some money, a couple board games.
I got a lot of knives.
Oh, be careful. I don't know.
By a lot, I mean 2.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about knives due to TOS on any of these. Maybe.
I think we can talk about knives. I don't think I can show anyone.
That
knives
sounds right.
On Twitch.
That sounds about right.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness, Ishwar!
Is that Ishwar?
Oh, happy New Year, man. Ishwar.
Glad to see you.
You're here for the first podcast back of the new year.
The year.
First one. Whoa. We're back, and it's time for our title segment. It is time for the best segment we'll ever do. I don't know. I'm just really hyping this up now.
I don't know about that.
This is
a new year and a new segment.
Yeah, new year, new segment. Kentucky. This is the Downtown Kentucky super official, non-negotiable top 10 MCU movies.
And that the MCU movies will change if we ever do a top 10 again.
Yeah,
the rest is like the official title.
It might not be movies. It's the super official non-negotiable top 10 is the segment, I guess.
Yeah. Same people. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. We're the same people. We're the same buffoons. I can't even say it because I'm scared. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I think I've said it before though, but. Apparently,
same ding dong.
Yeah, you can't say the I word that means buffoons. Apparently, Twitch doesn't like that. That means stupid.
Stupid?
Yeah, you can't say it.
I guess that's TOS.
It's probably like hate. It's probably like defined as like hate speech or something.
Probably. I believe
Which, like, I get it, but still. But yeah, so let's,
Yeah.
real quick, before we get into the top 10, I want to give a quick, very, very small shout out to 2 movies that were very close to making this list, but just barely didn't make the cut of our official top 10. So,
the jib.
honorable mentions, we have Doctor Strange.
That was me playing an imaginary drum roll.
It was very nice, very nice. Doctor Strange. I've never actually seen Doctor Strange, but they doesn't. But that's not the point.
Okay. That was one of my picks.
That was one of his. That was his. One of the ones he wanted to make this list, but we had to break it down to what the core essence, and it actually worked out perfectly to be 10 when I just knocked off each of our equal top 10s because Chris accidentally only did 9.
Yeah. Because I didn't pick an official MCU.
That's true. Chris threw a random other Marvel movie on here. Chris over here being an X-Men Last Stand fan.
No. It was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I was like, Spider-Man!
So I guess we'll say that's also an honorable mention in the sense of, it's great, but it's not MCU at all.
It's not an MCU movie at all? Yeah, that's fair.
I'd also like to throw out Holes as an honorable mention.
Oh.
It has nothing to do with this category. I just think it's a good movie.
It's just a really good movie. Throw in Shawshank Redemption. Classic. Not MCU, though.
And then we'll also, lastly, the original Avengers movie is a masterpiece. And if it wasn't for it, we wouldn't be where we are now.
That's fair.
So,
fair.
Speaking of things that led to where we are now. Wait, no, it's not. I forgot the order. Take it back.
What are you talking about?
At one point, 10 and 9 were switched on my list, but I was like, I'll give Chris his one a little higher than mine. Sorry, number 10. Without further ado, it is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It's a really good movie. It was really cool how they didn't do a MCU movie. It's like a spy thriller that happens to have superheroes in it.
What do you mean they didn't do an MCU movie?
It wasn't like your generic superhero movie, which is something I think that Captain America... Well, I would say Captain America has done really well not doing that, but the best one is also the that one is such like a war movie.
Oh, okay.
And that was on my short list of like 13 movies. I wanted to put the first Captain America on here, but he didn't make the cut because honestly, probably because I know the internet doesn't like it and thinks it's boring, so I went, I guess it can't be one of the top 10.
Fair. I mean, it's definitely would not have made my top 10.
That's fair. It didn't. That's fair. I really enjoy it. It was part of my top 13 MCU movies. So Captain America: Winter Soldier is really cool. We get our first appearance of Bucky. Bucky's awesome.
Yeah, they make Bucky Barnes a really cool and
sympathetic, but a sympathetic villain, which and
a character who you would actually be interested in, despite being not a major MCU character.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really cool. I'll be honest, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I just remember really liking it, so I don't have much more to say than that. It was good. I enjoyed it. I remember really enjoying it. I like that it didn't do what I feel like this was one of the first MCU movies that wasn't just, here's another superhero story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's number 10. Now remember that cool, really cool, smooth transition I did for trying to go into this one that was wrong? Speaking of movies that were groundbreaking for the MCU, it's the first ever Marvel MCU movie. Kind of, not really. Technically, it's Hulk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Technically, it is Hulk.
Whatever. It's Iron Man.
That's right. This is what started the official MCU.
Yeah. Nick Fury's in this one, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's officially MCU,
he starts gathering people for the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
There's the really cool cut scene where he talks about, mutants in Spider-Man that don't make it in because they couldn't get the rights to working with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Yeah. This was a little peek behind the curtains. This was on Chris's list, not mine. Chris, I'll let you lead the discussion on this one.
I feel like Iron Man was a really great origin story, slash also just a cool superhero movie. Um, Now, granted, I haven't seen this movie since I first saw it,
Oh,
which was
okay.
when it first came out. So I don't remember a whole ton about like the specific plot of the movie. But I do remember distinctly enjoying it. Also, I just really enjoy Robert Downey Jr. as Iron
It's
Man.
fair.
I think he does excellent.
And if you
And
wanted a
yeah,
standalone movie of Iron Man, this is the only that was good. So, what else are
it's
you supposed
true.
to do?
It is true. It was the only one that was good.
Um,
And then we have, yeah, this. Uh, I mean, I guess he doesn't have a complete character redemption, but he goes from a total jerk to being a slightly more sympathetic jerk in the movie.
and we
But
had
yeah,
hashtag MyRoadie and Terrence Howard. I think we should bring back Terrence Howard. Also, have you heard about Terrence Howard's really cool way of doing math? Just Google
what?
Terrence Howard math. I don't have time to try to explain it or remember how it works, but that's
Okay.
my little extra nugget of stuff for our audience is go look up Terrence Howard math, and he'll explain how he doesn't think 1 times 1 can equal 1. It's really weird. He's kind of crazy. That's not why he got replaced. He got replaced because he wanted too much money. But
Mm. And that's fair.
but he's also kind of crazy.
And also, that's fair, Ishwar. I mean,
But-
I really enjoy
Whoa.
Iron Man.
Pause. That's not fair, Ishwar. Because, like we said, this is the super official, non-negotiable top 10.
Oh,
You can have your
yeah.
own top 10, but this is the official list.
Yeah, this is the super official, non-negotiable Downtown Kentucky top 10, which means
Yeah.
if
Like,
you disagree, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're allowed to have your opinions, but know that they're wrong.
Yeah, know that you are for sure not correct in having him.
Just kidding. We love you, Ishwar. Yeah. The Iron Man. He started it all.
He really did. And also, he was a really cool, charming character, although, despite being a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, yeah, I just love
It's like
Robert
you.
Downey
You're a
as
very
Iron
charming
Man.
jerk. So
Oh.
we all love you.
Am
Still.
I a charming jerk?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess I can be a jerk at
Yeah,
times.
I was just trying to be playful and playfully
Okay.
mean, but I feel like we know a charming jerk, but it's not either of us. You know who I'm thinking of, but we won't shout their name out here to be rude to them.
I don't know if I do know a charming. Oh,
Think
yeah,
about it. He
Okay.
refers to himself as a jerk all the time.
that's fair. I feel like I'm not a jerk necessarily. I just like to tease the people
That's
that I
fair.
am close to a lot.
See, I had a very bad upbringing with my friendships, and if I don't treat you like crap, that means I don't like you. Moving right along.
We're both Iron Man.
No, I feel like I'm more of a Thor when he gets fat.
Wow.
All right, moving right along to more. Speaking of Thor, whoa! I wish that was
Thor.
I wish that was on purpose, but that was just actually perfect timing.
Oh, that's fair.
This is not mine. The official 8th best
That's right.
MCU movie.
Non-negotiably.
Non-negotiable. Thor Ragnarok. Just because though, I will lead the discussion on this one.
That's fair. Definitely, it wasn't because it was on his list and not mine. Although it did make my top 13 if there was
that's fair.
a top 13, and I didn't just make that list at 3 a.m. because I forgot to during the day.
It's all right. I was asleep when you made it. Didn't see it till 6. So, but yeah. So Thor Ragnarok. Honestly, very similar to why I like Avengers. Not Avengers. Captain America, Winter Soldier. And you're gonna hear that and say, "What are you talking about? These movies are so different." Exactly. But that's what makes them the same. They're so different.
They are not atypical MCU.
Yeah, here's I love a lot of MCU movies, even the ones that are very MCU-y.
Cookie cutter.
But here's the thing: it would have never made my top list. But I really enjoyed watching Ant-Man. But there's a reason Ant-Man didn't make the top 10 because it's another Marvel movie, and I get Marvel fatigue. I'm not quite there, but I get it.
Yeah.
And
Also, Thor Ragnarok specifically deserves praise because of the previous 2 Thor movies as well, which are just an absolute. It's a drag.
Yeah,
to sit through.
I thought the first Thor was boring, and I never even saw the second Thor because I was like, I didn't like the first one, and then I heard that Thor 2 was quite possibly the worst MCU movie. So it's definitely the one the internet says. My personal opinion is another movie that I won't say because the internet, some parts of the internet love it, and you know which one I hate. We hate it together. But there are people
that love that movie.
I think so.
Well, wow.
At the very least, there's that scene that movie inspired. I felt like that one. I'm being too vague and don't need to talk. We'll just move on. This is not about bad. This is about good. This is about celebration.
Maybe we'll have a top 10 worst MCU movies.
We might do it. I don't know. There's only like 25 movies though, so there's only gonna be like 5 movies that don't make the list.
And then there'll be a few movies, like the number 10 movie will be the one that like.
Number 10 will be Ant-Man.
Not my favorite.
Will be Ant-Man that I just said was fun, but like it's like I guess it's the 10th worst. I don't know.
Number 9, Ant-Man 2.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It's slightly worse than Ant-Man, but that's not the point of this list. We both have ADD. Let's get back on track.
Number 7, baby.
No, we haven't discussed number 8 at all.
Number 8, Thor Ragnarok. I feel like we discussed it a little bit. I don't know.
Okay, I'll give you a little bit, but I am not ready to move on from Thor Ragnarok. I haven't talked about it at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love what Taika Waititi did here. Oh, pause real quick.
Also, what's up, Chewie?
Chewie, what's up? It has been a while. We took 2 weeks off, but we're back, baby.
Right. We took time off for the holidays and New Year's, and we're back at it.
Oh, New Year's is part of the holidays, Chris. You didn't
back in the saddle. That's not a holiday.
Literally,
I mean, everything's closed, so it's technically a national holiday.
It literally is a national holiday. But all right.
But,
Thor Ragnarok. It's great. It's charming. Taika Waititi did an amazing job. I love it because it's so different. It's so special. There's a couple other movies like it that are just different, and it's really nice when you get something that you don't expect to be as different as it was. And it also is as close to a Planet Hulk movie as we'll ever get, which is also cool. Like we got like hints of like kind of like Planet Hulk-esque, which is cool because Planet Hulk is a great story. Yeah, it was fun. It was charming. This was the movie that Thor 1 and 2, like we mentioned, sucked. Mm-hmm. But Thor was great in all of the other things he did. Like when he was in Avengers.
Yeah, as a character,
he was so good, and this movie was like the first time they like gave us
highlighted
Thor as Thor, like made him good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It also gave us
also Taika Waititi as rock alien. Craig?
Korg.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like Korg.
Yeah.
It also gave us I'm blanking on the character's name.
Valkyrie?
Yes, I was thinking of her and was like, oh, she's awesome. Couldn't remember her name because I'm not a good fan.
Yeah, how dare you?
Hey, you couldn't remember Korg.
I said Craig. That was close. I remember Valkyrie. All right.
It was great. Everything about it was awesome.
Yeah.
The one slight negative is not even about it. It's kind of about actually a movie that makes it higher on this list. Is the stakes and the saving of the day that he did is all erased by the start of the next time you see these characters.
Oh. Yeah.
But we'll get to that a little bit later. Moving right along to number 7. Some people might think it's surprising if they didn't see it. Like, I feel like if you would, on paper, if you heard that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was on the list, you'd be like, what? But that's if you hadn't seen it. If you had seen it, you'd understand this movie was amazing.
Yeah, an outstanding movie that, like, it has no right being as good as it was.
Well, Ishwar, you should go see it. And Chewie, are you mad that it's that low or mad that it made the list? I need clarification. I just want to know where your heart's at. You are a Hawkeye fan, so I'm a little worried on where your reaction's going to be.
Yeah, it might be because it doesn't have any Hawkeye in it.
And
should be higher.
That's fair.
I respect that.
That's fair.
I respect that, but again, this is the official non-negotiable top 10.
Yeah, you might have not been here for that part, so you're allowed to have that opinion, but you're wrong.
But yeah, no. Honestly, this movie is phenomenal.
The fight
A great
choreography.
standalone
Oh.
MCU movie.
The fight choreography. Aquafina is hilarious.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley coming back as, I forgot his character's name. Not the Mandarin.
Yeah, as the fake Mandarin.
As the fake Mandarin from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, the comedy in this movie hits really hard.
Him and the weird
action scenes are beautiful.
Him and the weird furry creature with no head and just a butt. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, this movie. This
Super
movie
charming.
is so good. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And long overdue that we got a kung fu MCU movie.
Yeah.
And boy, was it great.
Yes.
They knocked it out of the park on this one.
Absolutely. There was no beam fight. That was nice.
Yeah.
There was kind of a color swapped fight though, so I can't give it too much credit.
It's true.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I think this has some, if not the best action sequences in any of the MCU.
I would be hard pressed to think of a movie that had a better action sequence.
Does it have some of the best sequences in the movie? Or in the MCU?
No.
Maybe not.
I feel like...
Which is why I need you to watch Doctor Strange, Austin, because that movie is just...
You know what? I'm sorry.
Insane.
At the time, I was busy when it came out, and I know, Chewie, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. I was busy when it came out, and the trailers did nothing for me, so I passed on it. I'm sorry. I've heard it's good. I'll fix this. I'll watch it.
Really good.
Maybe we'll have to do an addendum list where it makes the top 10 of the official.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable, unless we decide to change it.
It did. It made my top 10, Chewie.
It did. And it made our honorable mentions along with Holes, Spider-Verse, and Shawshank Redemption, baby.
All right, moving right along to number 6.
Yeah, number 6, which is... Oh, this movie.
Black Panther.
Speaking of a movie that should have made it higher, but, someone's score made me have to take it down a notch.
I'm sorry, there was just a lot of other movies that had a lot building up and capitalized off of all of the built-up momentum that they had.
Replace what with Spider-Verse?
We can't replace anything with Spider-Verse because it's not an MCU movie officially.
Yeah.
It's its own standalone thing.
Yeah, it's
not a part of the
Sony
MCU
movie, baby. Woo, Sony. Ooh.
Yeah.
But who cares about that? We're not talking about Spider-Man. We're talking about Black Panther, which is
that's right.
Such a good movie.
It really is.
Man.
Phenomenal.
Michael B. Jordan is Killmonger. The best Marvel villain. I'm going to say it. People might disagree, and that's fair.
Definitely one of the most charming Marvel villains.
I loved him. Chewie having spicy, bad takes, but I'm not even going to dignify that by reading it out loud.
Sure.
Black Panther, I loved it. I will say the one flaw it had was it did the classic MCU ending. Color swapped, big fight. Woo!
Yeah.
You have a character.
Was the ending fight.
You have a character like Killmonger, who I just thought how he was the best villain, and he was special and he was different. And then they're like, what if we put him in the exact same suit but made it a different color?
Yeah. They sure did do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Marvel loves I'm dropping it down to...
you're right. This is number 9. No, it's still great. I love pretty much every character in it. It's great. It's we're not the ones to talk about it, but it is awesome to see representation like this out there. As someone who likes to think of myself as an ally for human rights and caring about people, it's cool that this movie and Shang-Chi exists, that there are movies where people can feel like they see themselves in it. Because, by God, there are a lot of movies that I can see myself in. Seth Rogen has had a huge career.
Fortunately, Seth Rogen has had a huge career.
He's going to be a great Donkey Kong. I don't care what anyone says.
Hey, he is going to be...
No, he's not. He's going to be terrible. Everything about the casting of that movie is going to be horrible.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
I'm going to see
what we're talking about.
Yeah. Once again,
Visit to the Super Mario podcast.
we have ADD. Back at it. Black Panther. I think it's great. I love it. It has flaws, and that's why it's only number 6. And this is the official list that you cannot argue about. You can't have a differing opinion. I mean, you can have a different opinion, but it's wrong.
That is the wrong opinion. Now, on a different timeline, this next movie was my favorite MCU movie for a very, very long time.
That's fair. That's fair.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right. This movie was great. Once again, I mean, I guess officially, I don't know. I don't remember paying attention to how we've been doing this. Who's supposed to talk about this one? Is it you or me? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I think we can both talk about it, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, honestly, that's something you kind of see about a lot of things on this list, that at least the reason I like them is it felt different. I like when things feel different.
Yeah, it was definitely apart from the, like, typical Marvel cookie-cutter formula.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, a valid opinion from Chewie, but I really liked all of the Guardian characters.
I mean, I think Star-Lord's kind of the worst. He's the lead, which is kind of a problem, slightly. Like, I think Star-Lord's... I never cared about Star-Lord. And then I'm also probably adding in extra, hate for Chris Pratt on top of the character, which is... It happens when casting. But...
You probably just really hate Chris Pratt?
I do not like Chris Pratt because of a lot of reasons. But I also never thought Star-Lord was great. I think he's fine. Like, I never had a problem with Star-Lord.
I think he is the charming jerk character.
Nah.
And I like him.
And that's fair. I disagree, though. I'm with Chewie on specifically only Star-Lord. I think Drax and Rocket and Groot are great, so I can't agree with the unlikable characters in general. But I will stand on Chewie's side for Star-Lord. Star-Lord's unlikable.
I respectfully disagree with both of you. I think all of the characters are really likable in this movie. I think the writing is really good. I think the comedy hits like a truck.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
They made me care about characters that I had never really heard about before seeing the movie.
For sure, yeah.
I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't know what the heck that is.
Yeah, no.
But I'll watch it. It's an MCU movie.
Chris, I also love this movie. Okay, like, that's fair.
Oh my gosh. What in the world is... What?
Chris, I've agreed with every point you've said except for liking Star-Lord. Well, let's say that. The writing is amazing.
And so that's why it makes my number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah. And that's why it's Downtown Kentucky's number 5.
The official, non-negotiable number 5.
Yeah.
Well.
Also the soundtrack was.
Oh yeah.
Masterpiece.
It was. Probably the best soundtrack in an MCU movie. Second best soundtrack in a superhero just a superhero movie. Spider-Verse's soundtrack is the best, but it's once again not MCU. So get out of here. Get out of here. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Let's move on. You know what we're gonna do about it? We're gonna move on to number 4.
Oh, okay.
That's right. It's number 4. It's Captain America: Civil War.
Woo!
That's right. It's the unofficial Avengers 3. They can call this a Captain America movie, and in a sense, it is. But also,
it really is just Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, it really it is a Captain America movie because yes, the central theme is about what Captain America feels about it and the Winter Soldier. I get it. There's a lot of Captain America and Winter Soldier heavily involvements in the reason the fight is happening.
Yeah,
but this is just let's get all the Avengers together and have them fight.
It really is,
and it's amazing.
And it's so I love really just about everything about this movie. I love how it puts these two polar viewpoints on controlling the powers of super people.
Yeah,
because both are completely valid points.
Yeah,
to be honest. And because I am an Iron Man fan, I sided with Iron Man.
I honestly can't remember off the top of my head which side was which.
Iron Man was on the side of, we need to bow to the government in this case.
Oh, Captain
Powers in place for super people. And
I was on Cap's side. We just apparently we differ on a lot of things, Chris. I'm pro.
Cap was like, oh yeah, super people will have just the ability to make the right moral decision because they will.
I'm pro secret identity.
We have to trust them to not ever, just snap for no reason.
But see, the problem with that is
like Scarlet Witch.
That's an MCU show. It doesn't count. We don't talk about it.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a super good movie. I think they explored the ideas really well.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
Just want to say though, real quick, from what we know about more recent MCU movies, man was Spider-Man on the wrong side. Fighting to have his identity known and by the government and have them have the power to release it if they needed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like Cap was right. Team Cap, baby. But no, this movie's great. Everything about it. The airplane fight scene is one of like the top 10. Like not even top. It's one of the best fight scenes. Like there's like one or two that are. Like the choreography might not be as good as some of the other fight scenes out there, but like the moment, they just like the way they paired off each character, and it was just it was chef's kiss.
Really good.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Speaking of phenomenal, we're in the top 3, baby. Everything from here is only gonna be awesome, unless you disagree, and that's fair. But it's not.
Yeah.
Number 3. Avengers Infinity War.
And now we get into the area, although honestly that was probably at number 4, in which, these movies have a lot of momentum building up to them.
That's fair.
And the reasons that are good is because there's a lot of payoff in these movies.
Fair. No, that's... Yeah. No, yeah. No, I mean...
And that's no exception here.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, Chewie. We'll have to wait and see. But continuing to talk about Avengers Infinity War, I'm a little peek behind the curtain. Like we mentioned, me and Chris both made our own list. I had this movie higher. By one spot. But I had it higher. I love this movie. I think this movie is the best Avengers movie, personally. Officially, it is only the, number 3 spot. But personally, I love this movie. I love the way it does something that other movies don't. I know, crazy. It's almost like I don't like Marvel movies the way I'm talking, and you know what? Maybe I don't.
Maybe I'm tired of the same thing over.
Maybe I have Marvel fatigue. Remember 15 minutes ago where I said I'm not quite at Marvel fatigue?
I think you might have already been at Marvel fatigue a few years ago. You just didn't realize it because they've been releasing a few movies here and there that, weren't just the usual
even the ones
Marvel movies.
But to be fair, like, even the ones that are, like I said earlier, and I stand by it, like, a movie like Ant-Man, I like Ant-Man. I just don't love Ant-Man. And that's the thing, I feel like people with, like, Marvel, like, the real Marvel fatigue are at the point where they don't want to see Ant-Man. They're done. I don't give a crap about another cookie-cutter origin story. And that's fair. I get that, but I'm not there. But I am at the point where those stories aren't the ones making my list, like, of top 10. Like, I want something special and different. The only origin story that I had, like, on my, like, list was, like, Shang-Chi. And it was different because it was... all that choreography was what put it over the edge. Like, you have to do something different to make me care about it. And I thought this movie, what it did that was different was the villain won.
Yeah?
Yeah, everyone knew that everything was going to be reversed in the sequel.
It didn't take away the weight when you saw Spider-Man crumble in Iron Man's hands.
And you just see all these moments where you're like, oh crap. Oh, okay, they ended it there.
Yeah.
And, I loved that. I loved the emotion of that scene. This movie, my personal number 2, but super officially number 3.
Number 3. Yeah. What can you do about it, really?
Can't do anything about it. I have to just keep it where it is. And let's continue this discussion because we're going to talk about the second half of this movie because really they should just be the same spot because they're one movie. It's number Avengers
2.
Endgame. Number 2. Chewie, you can be rest assured that at least Endgame isn't number 1. Will we disappoint you with our number 1? I don't know. You're a Hawkeye fan.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Hawkeye is a show. It is not a movie.
I'm sorry that we didn't put Thor 2 at number 1.
But yeah, I mean, this is all of the payoff of like the first
20
phase
years
of Marvel movies.
Like it's 12
first
years.
2 phases.
Yeah, this is end of phase. This is the second to last movie of phase 3.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty much each phase before this ended with an Avengers movie. Like Avengers 1 was the end of phase 1, Ultron was the end of phase 2. And then officially Spider-Man Far From Home was the end of phase 3 because it's kind of like a epilogue to this movie in a sense. Did I say that wrong? I said the wrong one? No, Far From Home. That's what I said, right? Okay.
Far From Home, the one with Mysterio?
Yeah, that was the one that was the epilogue of phase 3.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this movie. I don't think like our number 1 fan of us, Chewie, thinks this movie's overrated. And you know what? Hey, everyone has the right to their opinion. I don't agree. I actually really love this movie. I cried multiple times. The moments. This movie's old enough that I can just say the moments. Like, let's be real. When Cap had Mjolnir, that moment. I mean, yeah, it's 3 hours, but but I had already given them like, I mean, not every movie because like we've talked about, I didn't watch Thor 2, I didn't watch Doctor Strange, but I had given them like 15 hours of my, like at least 15, 20 hours of my life. I was willing to give them 3 more.
Valid.
I disagree. But Chewie thinks there was too much time on the time travel and not enough time on the final fight. But at the same point, though, it was the final fight. You can't do a whole movie of final fight. You have to have a setup.
Yeah.
But I could see that the setup wasn't as entertaining.
Exciting.
Yeah, and that's fair.
That's valid.
But, I enjoyed it. I enjoy, like, 90% of this movie. Like, there are a couple moments where, like, I'm very analytical, and I don't like how they ignore their own time travel rules at the end of the movie when it suits them. That annoys me. It really annoys me when Marvel ignores their own science rules that they choose to put in the movie. It's like, here's the thing. We've never talked about this on here. I've had this conversation with Chris enough that I don't want to have it again, but because it's the first time on air, I'll give the brief version. I don't care if the science is accurate, but don't try to tell me how the science works. This movie tries to explain how time travel worked. Ant-Man tried to explain how the Ant-Man getting bigger and smaller worked. And then both movies said, but what if we didn't listen to the rules we just told you because it led to a cool moment? Like Ant-Man, it's like his molecules get closer. So when he gets smaller, he has the same amount of strength. That's how he's able to punch you. Yet when he makes something bigger, somehow it can break a window.
Yeah. It doesn't just, light squishy. I
think it's technically Ant-Man 2, but when Hank Pym is pulling a building behind him, that he shrinks down. Mm-hmm. But if Ant-Man's punches can hurt, that means that building is still...
It'd still be as dense
100 tons of concrete in a little tiny package. Like, if any, this movie where it's like, here's how time travel works, but also somehow Cap's able to get back to the same timeline without having the particle. It's just, it was still a great movie. But it's just we can't get Black Widow back, but I mean we can get Gamora back because she still has room on her contract.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah, I don't know. It's great, but also it's got its flaws, which is why I think personally, but not officially, I feel like Infinity War didn't have those flaws. And that's why personally I like it more. But this movie It's still great. I cried. I loved all the culmination moments. There's one other moment.
Very impactful moments.
There's one other like sub moment in the final battle that I hate that I won't talk about because I'll get labeled things.
Oh. Yeah,
we've talked about that enough.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
And I can't discuss.
If you know.
If you think about it, think about what moments someone could really dislike about that scene, and you could probably figure it out. It's the same reason I don't like other movies starring Brie Larson in the MCU. Moving right along.
Could it be? Who cares? Number one movie.
Number one MCU movie by far. I don't think any of these other movies really even come close. That's right. It is Spider-Man No Way Home.
That's right. And if you've seen it...
I'll be honest. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Way Home? You're going to add those after? Looks like we let down Chewie.
We have a long... That's a lot of O's in that no from Chewie.
He's then going to say Way Home. You're wrong, but that's all right, Chewie.
Yeah.
This movie was amazing in every way. It wasn't. I mean, I don't want to just argue with Chewie, so I'm just going to ignore you for a little bit. You keep saying what you want to say. I respect your opinion because you have the right to have an opinion, but I personally disagree entirely. I love this movie. If you are watching this video, I'm sorry. I don't want Chewie. I think he's joking. I think he's joking with the goodbye. But Chewie, I love you because you're one of like the most loyal fans we have. But the Ultron is my least favorite Avengers movie. It's like one of my least favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
Oh,
dang.
Okay. All right. Bye,
I'm out of here.
All right, bye, Chewie. Well,
bye.
We may have lost a fan because I don't know. It's fine. Whatever.
A differing opinion.
Yeah, it's fine. I think he said you'll see us tomorrow. He's not actually gone forever. But if you are here and you haven't seen No Way Home,
Chewie's really throwing us on a roller coaster ride.
All right, don't worry, Chewie. It's coming up. We have to get through this though. We have to ignore us hyping this movie up because I love this movie. If you haven't seen this movie though and you don't want spoilers, leave or like stop listening for 5 minutes because I want to talk about this movie and why it's great. And to do that, I have to spoil it. It's amazing. The culmination of bringing the characters that they brought back, bringing them back. Andrew Garfield, by golly, that performance from Andrew Garfield was like. Here's the thing: I'm not one of those weird revisionist history people who now are trying to pretend that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a good movie. They're out there. They're on the internet right now. They're trying to pretend like that movie was good, or that the first one even that good, which it wasn't. It was okay. It wasn't bad.
I think that there's a lot of moments in those movies where Andrew Garfield's acting does shine through.
This movie, the way he there are 2 points where I almost cried. When Aunt May dies,
right,
and when Andrew Garfield saves MJ.
Saves MJ. Yeah.
That moment. And here's the thing: I knew it was coming. I was hoping that moment would happen. When I saw the trailer, before we knew for sure that Andrew Garfield and Tobey were going to be in this movie, I was like. When we saw her falling in the trailer, I was like, "Oh, I hope that Tom can't save her and Andrew does, because that's an awesome closing moment." Was Aunt May's death predictable? Yeah, sure, but
and I'm gonna say something that maybe is slightly controversial, and that is every MCU movie is predictable.
Yes, and I agree. And
that doesn't make a MCU movie necessarily bad.
Yeah, and I would argue that Spider-Man needs to have that moment of death. Like, I get it that, yes, officially we should have assumed that he had that moment. But, like, they in, like, the scene after she dies, they have them both talking about how they lost their Uncle Ben. He never had an Uncle Ben for what we know in the movie.
Yeah.
So, having that moment where she can give that line of, like, with great power comes great responsibility, and the way that changes the mindset of the Spider-Man who gets that line. Like, yeah, we've all heard that line 3 times now. This is the 3rd movie that we've heard that line. I get that, yeah, it's repetitive in that sense, but it helps change the character in a way that I think is needed for...
Yeah. This is definitely the Spider-Man movie where we get actual, like, character growth from Spider-Man. Like, he's not a kid anymore.
Yeah. And if he... To just, respond to you're saying, Chewie, if he didn't portray Doctor Strange and the movie ended there, the movie would have been 30 minutes and it wasn't a movie. Like, I mean, like, sure, you could say, like, yeah, should it have happened? Maybe not. But also, what? Then the movie just ends, and then that's not a movie. You have to make a movie. Like, that wasn't far enough in a movie to have it stop there. So,
and like they say in the movie, that's not who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
He has to try to help. He's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah. You know what? I love it. I love Andrew Garfield. I hope they make The Amazing Spider-Man 3 now, which I never thought I would have said because The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was hot trash. And like I said, I don't think The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was that good. It was fine. It was completely passable. It was an okay movie. But...
it was a bittersweet moment, admittedly. Chewie says that when everyone forgets him, it was annoying. But that's the point.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I hoped, I wanted him to have the happy ending, but also, superheroes aren't supposed to have the happy ending. Like,
sometimes you don't get everything you want.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm doing the big wave here that I didn't tell you. We're done talking about spoilers. We're going to take it off the screen now so you can come back. Okay. There we go. That was Spider-Man. That's why it's number 1. There's more we could say. I could probably do a whole podcast on it. It would be repetitive, and everyone else has already said my thoughts, probably. Like, it's not necessary, so we won't. But I could, because that's how much I love this movie.
Yeah. I watched it twice.
I've also seen it twice, and when I went into it the first time, this is no spoilers. We're at the point where there's no spoilers. So if you did come back and you're like, you're still talking, you lied. Sorry. I'm not spoiling anymore. This is spoiler-free. When I saw this the first time, I thought, this is my second favorite superhero movie ever, behind Into the Spider-Verse. That's when I saw it the first time. When I saw it the second time, I went, maybe this is my favorite, above Into the Spider-Verse. And you know what? I still have to watch Into the Spider-Verse again to know for sure which one is like my favorite superhero movie of all time. But man, do I love this movie. And honestly, even if I say this one's better, it's probably a situation where it'd be a 1A, 1B. They're tied for first. One slightly edges it out. I agree. The sequel to Spider-Verse looks great. I can't wait.
Very excited.
Spider-Verse is amazing. I love Spider-Verse. Yeah. But that has been the top 10 MCU movies. Number 10 was Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and number 9 was Iron Man.
The first Iron Man.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're moving on from Marvel now to the only news story of the week. Well, the last 2 weeks. This news story literally broke like the day after we did our last podcast, I think.
Yeah.
But we took 2 weeks off, and most other things aren't important anymore, all the other stories. But real quick, to pause on that, Venom 2 isn't an MCU movie. That would be why it couldn't make the list. I haven't seen it either, but Venom 2 couldn't make the list. And I also never saw Iron Man 3, but you were the first person I've heard who said they liked it. Good for you, though, Chewie, and that's all that matters. Here's the thing. Our opinions, as much as I joked about our opinions being the end-all, be-all on this list, they don't actually matter.
They are still just opinions.
Yeah, if Chewie wants to love Hawkeye and Iron Man 3, more power to him. I don't care, really. It doesn't affect me what Chewie likes. Shouldn't affect Chewie what I like.
Right.
But yeah, our one and only news story, because normally we discuss news stories, so I felt like we had to get something. And this one felt just weird enough and relevant enough because nothing has actually come from it yet, so it could still be something at some point. Square Enix...
I'm hoping it is.
Square Enix files a new trademark for Gex.
That's right. Square Enix, you know them for Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And
online?
That's it, actually.
I forgot online. Isn't there like a Final Fantasy Online?
Yeah, that's 14.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Also, does
and
anyone really care about
JRPGs.
Before 7? I feel like, without knowing, isn't that a thing that's supposed to be a thing? I feel like I haven't heard anyone really talk about Before 7. It's like 7, like 12, and like 15. Like...
Oh, I mean, it's 7, 8, 10, 12,
Fine.
and 15.
I'm sure I missed a couple numbers here and there, but the point is, for the most part,
And a
people
lot of
don't
people
care
like
about
9.
most of the...
No, I mean, Final Fantasy fans,
yeah.
as a Final Fantasy fan,
15,
you know,
7, and
everyone
12.
will have their own opinion on what is the best Final
Chewie
Fantasy.
says 15, 7, and 12 are the best, and I have no opinion because I've played none of them.
And I'm a really big 15, 7, and 8 person.
It's fair. But that's actually not the story. That's just the company that is involved in the story. That's right.
Yeah.
Gex, baby.
They're making Gex.
One of the best. I made a really big face for our audio listeners because I don't know if anyone actually liked Gex. It was one of the early 3D platformers. Yeah, it was I feel like it was a big deal when it came out, but then like better games were made.
Yeah. I think the whole reason why people love Gex as much as they do... Also, technically,
Gex was a 2D platformer first. I forgot about it. Gex 1 is a 2D platformer on like the SNES, I believe. And just to correct myself on Gex fans out there who are mad that I said he's a 3D platform character, I know he started not. I'm sorry.
That's right. The quippy spy gecko, who is not always a spy, but just a quippy gecko.
Okay.
Is getting, trademarked by one of the pioneers in graphical design.
I feel like they must have been involved before. I didn't do enough research because I didn't care.
Yes.
But because I was like, that's a stupid story. Gex is.
It's an older video game.
Yeah, it's an older video game from like the 90s, and that's about it. Here's the thing. I've only ever heard about it in passing as a joke when people are referring to good N64 games. So that kind of shows you where it is. It's it's the joke you make a joke about oh, I didn't play Mario 64. I played Gex. That's the joke.
Yeah.
So
the whole thing behind it was that Gex made a lot of references to pop culture at the time.
So I'm sure those games hold up then.
No.
We should play Gex at some point.
But I'm sure the new Gex will hold up for all of 2020 through 2023. Or whenever it comes out.
Yeah. All right.
And they make references to, Elon Musk and Bitcoin.
NFTs. Time for NFT news. Just kidding. There are none, because the only ones I had at all were at least 2 weeks old, so what's the point of discussing them?
Yep. Oh.
The name I have no idea who that is. To me, so I don't know what story you want to know if we've covered. But I can tell you, we haven't, because I don't know that name.
Yep.
But
name does not mean anything to me.
We do still have a lot of segments to get to, because we talked about movies probably longer than we should have.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? We need to move on to more movie talk, but different movie talk. It's trailer talk.
Oh my gosh.
Roll the graphic. Just kidding. There's no graphic.
No graphic. Trailer talk.
Trailer talk. The first trailer we are talking about today is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Now, to the uncultured people, you may say, what is that? And to that I answer, another Nick Cage movie. But not just another Nick Cage movie.
That's right.
No.
This time, he plays Nicolas Cage.
That's right. Nick Cage is playing himself in a movie.
And it
looks amazing.
Terrible.
Amazing. In how terrible it looks.
Yeah,
But also, I genuinely don't think it looks terrible.
I do. I think it looks terrible, but in a way that I'm going to see it. It reminds me, it's not the same at all, but it reminds me of what I saw when I saw the Sonic trailer.
Okay.
Oh my god, is this bad? But oh my god, am I not missing it?
Yeah. No, I will absolutely be watching this movie as soon as it releases. For sure. It looks like it's going to be an amazing time.
Yeah.
Wow.
We might have to both try to see it so we can discuss it on the podcast.
Oh, for sure. This might. Oh, it won't make. Unfortunately, it won't make a movie club, but it might make an unofficial movie club segment.
Yeah, we might discuss it. It'll be like, remember when we reviewed Halloween Kills? It'll be like that.
Yeah.
Because it can't be a movie club segment because we'd have to record in the theater.
Record our audio. Yeah.
What we gotta do, Chris, what we do is we rent out a movie theater to watch it, and then we also somehow only capture our audio and not the movie's audio at all. Oh wait, that's impossible. All right,
yeah.
So the general plot from this trailer, what we're seeing is he's playing himself getting into antics, and that's really the best I can describe it. And
he's playing himself getting into antics with another eccentric millionaire because he's in debt.
Yeah.
From probably making irresponsible financial decisions.
Well, apparently
that's just the thing he actually.
He's apparently been living in a hotel for years, according to Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
And it was so it looks crazy. If you like Nick Cage at all, go watch the trailer and see if you're into this, because you probably will be if you like Nick Cage even in passing, because it seems just crazy enough that it should work.
Yeah.
Now to a movie really that looks just crazy enough that it'll be crap.
Absolute doo-doo.
Yeah, we won't even discuss this.
A movie starring Sandra Bullock, which you would say, what? Sandra Bullock in a bad movie?
Yeah.
No.
And Channing Tatum, and you're like, of course, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, okay, well, no, it's all coming together now.
See, I wish you would have said just Channing Tatum, because then they could have thought, oh, are we talking about Dog? No, we're not. Not today. Sorry, guys. But Dog looks terrible, too. No, we're talking about...
The Lost City.
The Lost... Oh, gosh. Yeah. And it's... So, Sandra Bullock is a writer of, romantic novels. Yeah. Channing Tatum is the model for the cover of her albums. And
Stephen.
What? Yeah, whatever. What did I say?
Albums?
That's what I mean it. Let's stick with it. She's a musician now. I'm changing the story. The movie looks like crap. I don't care. It looks bad. I'm not seeing this one.
She ends up in an adventure where she's basically in one of her romance novels. Yeah. And then at some point, Brad Pitt joins the party
pretty quickly, because if you actually pay attention to the scenes, you have Channing Tatum show up earlier in the scene, in the same scene that it seems like he shows up right after Channing Tatum to save her.
I don't know about right after, but a little bit after.
Yeah, whatever. It looks like...
Who knows?
If you like crappy rom-coms, this might be the movie for you.
It might be.
If you're like me and Chris, this probably isn't the movie for you.
No. But we watched the movie for Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and then this showed up in the recommended, and I was like, well, it's got Sandra Bullock in it. What is this? Oh, it's also got Daniel Radcliffe, who plays the eccentric millionaire.
It's true.
Villain.
And Daniel Radcliffe is a good actor, so...
He is.
Yeah. There's a lot of decent actors in this movie, and it's gonna be bad, though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Very, very likely to be bad.
Moving on to our next segment. It's time. This will be the movie for me. All right, Chewy, I hope you enjoy it.
Chewy, if you could, in love with Sandra Bullock.
Chewy, if you
or
could,
Channing Tatum.
If you go see this movie, could you just type up a one-page review for me and send it my way? No, I'm kidding. I won't. I don't want it.
You will not read it.
I will not read it.
Does not read.
I do not know how to read. As you see from what's on the screen now, it's time for kind of movie club. I know what you're thinking. Yeah. What does that mean? Kind of. Well, it's time to just kind of talk about movie club, because if you're new, which you could be, this could be your first time ever being here.
And if it is, welcome.
We have a segment called Movie Club every week, which, Chris, what's a movie club?
A movie club's a whole lot like a book club, but for movies.
Oh my goodness, that's such an amazing idea that these creators came up with.
Yeah,
I'm sure no one else has ever done a movie club.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, they have.
No, yeah, a lot of people have.
Yeah, there's a lot of movie club.
Almost every content creator who makes content. This is their side content that they make. And what do you know? It's also our side content.
Yeah, we have a show that is about movie. There's part of the movie club is a segment where we come every week and we discuss it here. But we want you to have the experience of watching the movie that is going to be the movie club movie with us. Now, obviously, you can't do that because we don't know you, and we probably never will, and that's the way it should be.
And also, we can't acquire all of our fans in the same place.
It's true. They live all across the country. It'd be impossible.
Although, who knows? Maybe we'll have a movie club, screening.
Yeah, we'll have a big convention
and a
someday.
tour, when we're huge.
Yeah, big movie club tour. We're just watching Dog, the Channing Tatum movie, for like years. We'll come back to the same town watching Dog again, and every time you see it, it'll be a different commentary from us. But it'll be us just crapping on the movie Dog forever.
And then I'll cry during an emotional scene with the dog because the dog dies. Almost certainly the dog will die.
Yeah, and then we're also gonna. The second year we do it, we're actually just gonna watch episodes of Dog the Bounty Hunter. This is our new movie called new series we're calling Dog Club. So Movie Club is a book club for movies. We talk about movies every week. We have a video that comes out on YouTube every week, where
you can listen to us commentate over a movie.
Yeah, it's like Mystery Science 3000. It's like Achievement Hunters, Theater Mode, Riff Tracks. 15 people have done it better than us for sure, but we do it now. Hey, have some fun with us.
Nice and intimate, and you can say you got in ahead of time.
It was inspired by me and Chris riffing on the movie Pan once, just for fun, and we actually did our most recent episode of Movie Club Commentary that we're not going to discuss the movie because it's old, and we watched that movie like a month ago, but we watched Pan. It's just as bad as I remember, and if you want to watch that, hey, go watch Pan on, I think it's Hulu, and throw our commentary track over it, I guess. Or don't. It's fine. We're going to keep making that content because it's just an excuse to hang out with my friend watching bad movies, so I enjoy it.
Yeah. We'll have a good time recording it.
Yeah. Speaking of Movie Club, though, we have a theme this year, don't we, Chris?
We do.
That's right, we do.
And you might be wondering what that theme is.
And for this whole year, 2022 is the year of DCOMs. That's right. Disney Channel original movies. And I know what you may be thinking. When was the first DCOM? Well, there's arguments online. But according to Wikipedia, the way it first started being called a DCOM was the 1997 movie titled Under Wraps, which... fun fact, is going to be our Movie Club movie next week. It is Under Wraps. A little forewarning, this is a movie that you have to dig for on YouTube because Disney has decided to just pretend like it doesn't exist.
Fair.
They are remaking it, and they remade it already, and you can't find the original at all. It's not available to buy online at all. There is one YouTuber who has had it uploaded for a year. So it doesn't seem like they're doing that much of a hard try to get it down. We'll tell you the name of the YouTube channel we're watching it on when the video comes out, but you're going to have to search that channel's name after the name of the movie or it will not come up. It's so hard. You have to go down 4 pages to find it if you don't do that. It's weird how hard it is to find this movie.
That is really bizarre.
Yeah.
But almost all of the rest of the DCOMs we're going to be watching should be all on Disney+.
Every other one is on Disney+, so that is where
easy to watch.
Yeah, it'll be really easy.
If you've got Disney+, and you like our content, you want more of us, that's
Year
where
of
we'll
DCOMs.
be.
We're watching them all. Well, not all of them. There's probably 70 DCOMs, and we're only watching 52
We're watching
of them.
52.
We're watching, I would argue, 52 of the best. There's some of the ones I cut were what? That's a movie? All right. If you like a movie, we're probably watching. Chris, name a DCOM.
13th Year.
That's right, we're watching it. Name another one.
Smart House.
That's right, we're watching it. Chewie, name a DCOM. Chris, name another one while he names one.
Luck of the Irish.
That's right, we're watching it. Chewie, did you say High School Musical 1 and 2? Yeah, we're watching it. Oh no, Chewie doesn't know DCOMs.
I don't know DCOMs.
Oh,
There.
No worries, Chewie. If you're thinking High School Musical 3, you're wrong. That's not a decom. That was released in theaters.
Yeah, sorry.
Know your crap. Gosh.
We will only be watching the movies that were released straight to TV.
Yeah. Which also, just because I was trying to make a distinction, we're also not watching any of the ones that are like blank the movie, like Kim Possible movie, Wizards of Place, Sweet Life on Deck. Like, we just cut those. Maybe at some point we'll watch like the 6 or 7 movies that fall under that at some point down the line, way down, like later. But they will not be during the year of DComs. If you're a big Wizards of Waverly Place movie fan, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a big fan of Wizards of the Waverly.
It was a great show. I did love it.
I did love Selena Gomez as a child, and I still do as a full-grown man, because she is a very attractive full-grown woman.
That is fair. But moving right along to less creepy you talking about girls, it's time
Selena Gomez.
for the #1 segment in the mind of Chewie, and probably only Chewie because we don't have a lot of viewers currently. That's right. It's time for Tournament of Champions. Woo-hoo!
That's right, baby.
This is Tournament of Champions. Let's see what 8 random fighters we have this week.
That's right, baby. What's going on?
On the West Coast, baby, we have Ultron from Chewie's favorite MCU movie.
Age of Ultron.
And then we have Captain Falcon from Captain Falcon, right? That's the name of the game? Or is it? No, F-Zero.
No.
F-Zero.
F-Zero.
From F-Zero or Smash Brothers. You know, probably where most people know him from.
Most of you will almost certainly know Captain Falcon Punch!
Yeah, that's the one thing he does. Alright, moving on. Well, we're still on the West Coast. We have Man-Bat, one of the coolest...
Batman.
Yeah, one of the coolest DC villains. He's like opposite Batman, but not really. He's just a giant bat that's a man.
Giant bat.
I love him. He's really cool. I like Man-Bat. And he's taking on Aquaman, everyone's favorite DC superhero. I say that as like a joke because the joke on the internet for like my whole life was, haha, Aquaman sucks. But then there's those people who like the new Jason Momoa one, so I don't know if that joke even applies anymore. I think some people might genuinely like Aquaman now, and it makes me angry. Aquaman is supposed to be the butt of jokes. People are not allowed to like Aquaman.
I never hated Aquaman, to be honest.
I always thought he was stupid. But that's not the point. That's right.
I don't like Aquaman.
I respect you, Chewie. I respect Chris less now. Oh, by the way, I'm Austin/Parfait, and he's Chris/Ox. We're about an hour and 7 minutes into the video. I guess we should introduce ourselves.
Whoopsies.
We're professionals.
What two strangers?
To be fair to us, we did have 2 weeks off of not remembering to do that. Like,
yeah, it's been a while since we've done this, so we're gonna be a little bit rusty.
Yeah. So, but it is already an hour into this, so let's get back to the East Coast bracket. We have Panthro from Thundercats. Thundercats. Oh, yeah. Ooh. And He-Man
versus He-Man
from
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah. Then we have Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Versus Yoda from Star Wars.
Hiccup is... Yoda's fighting a concept?
The concept of hiccuping. Let's be honest. Hiccuping's really annoying, guys.
It's pretty awful, honestly.
All right. Hey, Chris, if I were you, I'd start thinking about Hiccup. Just spoiler.
Now, does he have his dragon with him?
We'll discuss.
Is it just Hiccup?
We can discuss that when we get to it.
All right.
First, we need to go over to the West Coast, baby. For our first matchup, it's Ultron versus Captain Falcon.
And it looks like Ultron is making it right into...
Yeah, I don't think we really even have to really discuss this.
Captain Falcon drives a car that goes really fast. And he punches kind of hard.
Realistically, if you really want to break it down too, he drives a car that's like futuristic, which if we know anything about futuristic cars in the real world, that means it probably has some sort of AI controlling it, helping control it, which means Ultron just took over his car.
Can't take it over.
Yeah, Ultron just took over his car.
Captain Falcon dies in a terrible fiery death.
Yeah, I think that's how that would happen. Well, moving on, it's Man-Bat versus Aquaman. And as much as I crapped an Aquaman and love Man-Bat, Man-Bat sucks.
No way.
Like
No way Man-Bat takes this fight.
As much as Aquaman sucks and his power is talking to fish, he could talk to a shark.
His main power is talking to fish. How
and that's
dare you.
about it. He really sucks.
He's got super strength?
Yeah, but like everyone has super strength in superheroes and other worlds.
That's for Man-Bat.
Actually, I think
he just got the strength of a giant Man-Bat.
All right, give me a second. Now I have to look this up. I'm pretty sure Man-Bat probably has super strength.
Is it super compared to a standard human? Yeah, probably.
Man-Bat powers.
He is very strong.
He is a metahuman. His abilities are when he's transformed into Man-Bat form, he has what's that? Superhuman strength. Because everyone has superhuman strength, Chris. He also has flight, sharp claws, echolocation, and sound manipulation.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
But Aquaman could just throw a shark at him. Like, Aquaman wins.
The trident that he has on him, like, all the time.
I do want to say Aquaman wins, and I thought that from day one. But it was the way you said, what does Man-Bat have? Man-Bat has some decent powers.
They're, like, just super enough.
Yeah. Aquaman has, like, one extra power. You're acting like Aquaman's so much better than him. Aquaman sucks.
Doesn't Aquaman also have water manipulation powers? Isn't he also basically a waterbender?
I think only underwater, though. I think it's that weird thing where he's, like, only when he's in the ocean.
Aquaman powers. Let's find out. I'm curious. Well, while I look this up...
Okay.
Let's... Hold on. I searched Aquaman powers, and the only... it just popped up in big letters was just superhuman strength.
Wow!
He definitely has other powers, but I'd just like to point out that that's the only thing that came up.
Because he can, like, do that. He can, like, talk to fish, and he might have, like, slight movement of water while he's in water. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't beat Man-Bat, because talking to sharks and convincing them to be on his side, he has a school of sharks that takes out one Man-Bat. I agree, but I want to make sure it's clear that if Aquaman was against half the other characters that have been in the first 4 episodes of this season, he would have lost totally so bad.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's not that good. But let's move on to characters that aren't that good.
That's that's fair.
I mean, there's like there's like 2 characters from Thundercats people like, and this isn't one of them.
Panther is not among that list.
Yeah, let me look up Panther powers just so I'm fair. Let me pull up a Panther powers.
Enhanced agility and strength, probably.
He's the strongest Thundercat. He's a cunning warrior in combat, relying on as much as martial arts as on relying as much on martial arts as on physical strength.
No. We're not dissing Thundercats. Just Panthro.
No. Yeah, I'm just saying Panther. Like, if this was Lion-O or is it Tigra? Tigra's cool too. Oh, I hope we are. Sure, you wanted us to diss Thundercats. Well, we're not. I think Thundercats are fine. And let's look at He-Man powers. He-Man possesses super speed, indestructible skin, and superhuman strength. Oh, look at that! We have another superhuman. Yeah, He-Man wins. Great.
Yeah.
Panther is just a strong Thundercat who has martial arts, and He-Man has indestructible skin and superhuman strength. Don't you love when you have characters that have indestructible strength and... Ugh.
Oh, it's only when he has the power of the Grey Sword. Otherwise, he's just Prince Adam.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure he was smart enough to bring the sword with him.
Oh, yeah.
Does this say Prince Adam or does it say He-Man? He has the sword. Yeah, He-Man wins. All right, Chris, it's your time, baby. It's time for my favorite segment within a segment. That's right. It's time for Chris to tell me, how does Hiccup beat Yoda?
Well, you see, he's got the power of being,
That's right, friendship. That's right. He's good friends.
Of not having one of his limbs.
Mm.
And so he chucks that at
It sounds
Yoda.
like he should be in the Star Wars universe then if he doesn't have a limb. That's a big Star Wars thing.
He's basically Anakin, but without any of the powers that Anakin had.
Whoa, he has the power to get Toothless to let him ride on him even though he's a Night Fury. That's a pretty good power.
He's got the power to get dragons to like him.
And Yoda has the Force.
Yeah.
And
Yoda kills Hiccup, I think.
Yeah, no, he does. If you are a first-time viewer and you're like, what do you mean your favorite segment within a segment? You didn't explain it, and that's fair. My favorite segment is where I take one of the most unbalanced fights we have and try to get Chris to argue why the obvious loser would win.
I haven't done it yet, but
no,
one day maybe.
I do feel like there was one time where you started like your joke argument, and I was like, crap, that person might have not been as unbalanced as I thought they were. They still lose, but it was like, oh wow, you raised a point.
I got close once, sort of.
Yeah. Let's move on to our West Coast semifinal. Or final. It depends on how you look at it. It's the West Coast final. It's the semifinal of the... tournaments are weird. It's Ultron versus Aquaman. Huh.
Yeah, it is.
This one's just... Their powers are so different.
They are very different. I don't think Ultron's powers give him an innate,
Yeah. It's not like Captain Falcon where he destroys his vehicle immediately.
Yeah. I mean, he could definitely still, control a whole bunch of drones if he wanted to, but I don't know if...
Real quick, I have to do a quick Google search. Can Ultron get wet? Why the first answer on Quora when I looked up can Ultron get wet, does Ultron have telekinesis? How is that connected?
No.
I'm trying to know if Aquaman could use his water powers to get him wet and if that does fry him because he's a robot. Oh, Chewie's saying of course he can. Chewie might be right because Chewie's a huge Ultron.
I would imagine that he can.
Yeah, I would assume he probably could, but I don't know.
I feel like the sentient computer definitely wouldn't get defeated by a bucket of water.
They might have been able to do that, Chewie, but maybe none of them thought to.
Yeah, maybe they're all too stupid.
They only had the Hulk and Iron Man, who are two of the smartest people in the Marvel universe, but they could have thought to do that.
Now that being said, it does look like Marvel, or not Marvel, DC New 52 Aquaman.
Oh.
The Trident does actually grant him powers and is not just a really strong, unbreakable melee weapon.
Oh, Chewie's telling us to wait a second.
Also,
I just realized some of the times I thought Chewie was talking, it was actually my mom. My mom was mad that we were dissing Thundercats. I thought it was Chewie. My bad.
During the ship fight in Age of Ultron, Ultron falls from the sky and skims through the water.
Alright, Ultron can get wet. Now I need to just look up Ultron's powers and compare them to Aquaman's powers and see who wins.
He was fine until Iron Man... Yep.
Superhuman strength, durability, the power of flight, and various offensive weapons. Alright, and Aquaman powers.
Superhuman strength, telekinesis.
Superhuman strength, the ability to breathe underwater, and the capacity to communicate telepathically with creatures of the sea are among other powers. Why would you just start with other... Whatever. Sometimes that makes me angry.
With his trident, according to the New 52, he can summon tsunamis, deluges, call down thunder and lightning, project and control ice, move land masses, and grant the ability for Aquaman to teleport himself global and interplanetarily distances using water as a medium.
Also, real quick, I gotta acknowledge what Chewie's saying about Ultron can make an army of himself. But Aquaman has an army of fish.
There?
There's more than 50 sharks.
There's a lot more than 50%.
I'll be honest, Chris. I don't think I know enough about either character to really make this argument. I think it might be time for the coin.
Flipping the coin?
I think it's time for the coin. Are you okay with taking this to the coin?
Oh, yeah. I really want to upset some people.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
I am rooting for Aquaman to make it into the final fight. So
I'll be honest.
I mean, what?
I'll be honest. I don't care about Ultron, so I kind of am cool with Aquaman winning this. Chris,
I
heads or
really
tails?
want the butt of the joke heads.
All right.
He is the king of Atlantis.
I believe it was tail. It was tails.
No.
So Ultron does continue.
I wanted to make people mad.
You wanted to make Chewie mad, and only Chewie mad.
I wanted to make everyone who hated Aquaman mad, which I feel like solid amount of people.
I feel like there's less of them now.
Yeah. Which is, I feel like, rightfully so.
Yeah, well, no, I don't.
He's a lot less lame than a lot of people give him credit.
He really isn't. But that's not the point of this. He's gone. Let's discuss He-Man versus Yoda. Which, honestly, I don't know. I think it might be He-Man, which is going to make a lot of people mad.
No, it's definitely not He-Man.
Why?
Because Yoda has the Force, and he just takes the Grey Sword away.
But this...
And then he loses all of his powers.
But that's not how the Force has ever been treated. Like, if someone's trying to hold on to something, you can't automatically take it out of their hands. That's never been... Like, he's superhuman strength. I think his superhuman strength could probably hold it against...
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. If he was a normal human, yeah, you could pull that away from him. But... Oh, Chewie's gonna find... Also, I think I might have to put Yoda through, just because if not Chewie, I think it's threatening to come find me and kill me.
Oh, well, also, what is the Grey Sword gonna do against the lightsaber?
Oh, crap. Mom's selling out our location.
Fuck you, where they are. Your mom's gonna...
Dang. I guess so. Shoot. I
don't think I let He-Man win this. I don't think that he does in a universe where anything makes sense.
I don't
He-Man...
think he loses in a universe where things make sense. He has indestructible skin and super strength. Yoda can't pull away the sword, and he can't hurt him.
It's sometimes referred as the Sword of Power.
But you know what? I'll say Yoda wins, because as much as I do stand by that and what I said about based off of what his power sets are, he's also, like, been taken down in He-Man. So, like, somehow people can take him down?
The sword is not indestructible, and it has been in multiple pieces at a point in time, so I think the lightsaber does easily cut through the power sword.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then he loses his powers.
Fine, Yoda wins. I was already siding with Yoda. But that's a fair point. Alright. It's time for Ultron versus Yoda. Either way, I think Chewie will leave happy, so we're not going to lose a fan today.
I don't think we're ever going to lose a fan.
No, I think Chewie...
We've definitely upset Chewie before with our opinions.
We've had Hawkeye lose multiple times at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, we sure have. Yoda versus Ultron. We've definitely seen Yoda take on hundreds of droids before.
Yeah.
With ease. And basically, I mean, even if Ultron managed to control like an army of machines, that's all they are is droids at the end. I mean, he's definitely a super advanced droid.
Yeah.
Yoda gets close enough with his lightsaber and cuts through him.
No, I think it's fair. I'm fine with Yoda. Yeah. Now, if this was Aquaman, I think he'd beat you.
Deflects all the lasers and missiles.
Yeah, no, Yoda wins. I don't think anyone... Yeah. We all know Yoda wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's your winner of Episode 5 of Season 1.
Good for Yoda. Can't wait for him to get dismantled by the Scarlet Witch on an atomic level at some point in time.
Hey! He might not get a chance. He might lose to Jack From The Incredibles.
He might lose to Jack. He might lose to, like...
Hey!
The Phoenix.
Hey, hey guys, I don't think Phoenix is in this season.
Is she not?
I don't think she's in the season.
Oh, well, she hasn't been yet.
I don't think she was in this season at all.
Oh, I don't know.
I pulled who was in this season. I don't think she made it.
Oh, wow.
Yoda would kill Jack Jack. We'll have to wait and see if that fight happens.
We'll see.
If you're a Yoda fan, I think you should be hoping he pulls a Rick Sanchez in round 1, because I think that's his only guaranteed win. Oh, wrong one. This. Oh wait, we're gonna do the outro, but before we get to the outro, ever so slightly, we have like a first part of the outro, which is special for this week. We have a new podcast we're launching for y'all on next Monday on YouTube.
It's what everyone has been demanding from us. Is
more content.
Podcast. Yep. We haven't been making enough.
It's fair.
That's what everyone has kept saying.
Everyone said you only make 5 videos a week. There's 7 days. What the crap is wrong with you?
What am I gonna do on those other 2 days when you're not making content?
Well, gosh darn it, we're good Christian boys and we rest on Sundays, so no videos on Sundays. But on Mondays, you get a brand new horror movie review podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Titled Horror Boys.
Because we'll be watching horror movies. I know.
Crazy.
How did we come up with the title?
We will be joined by a mutual friend of me and Chris named Isaiah. I hope he's okay with us saying his name. I assumed he thought that would happen on the podcast.
Yeah, hopefully he would be, aware that he would become known by other people.
Yeah, I would hope he's okay with that. Oops. I would normally say, Isaiah / internet name, but the boy is not on the internet, which is respectable.
No, like at all.
We will be starting it this Monday. We will be watching Friday the 13th. So tune in for a review of Friday the 13th, Monday o'clock at 4 the day. On Monday at 4 o'clock. Because every day on YouTube we release a video at 4 o'clock. Streams are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday night at 9:30 Central Time.
That's right. Don't get confused. This will not be a part of our Twitch.
This is not on
schedule.
Twitch. I'm sorry.
This is a YouTube exclusive.
This is a YouTube exclusive, just like Movie Club. Because reasons. Really, just it's scheduling. It makes the only day it makes sense to come out. So, I've been Austin, he's been Chris. We'll see you tomorrow on Twitch. And tomorrow on YouTube, just at different times.
Gaming content, baby.
Yeah, no matter what, tomorrow for you, we will be playing It Takes Two. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.